If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you're happy and you know, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know, snap your fingers. If you're happy and you know, snap your fingers. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you're happy and you know, snap your fingers. Yes, kids, if you are happy, I bet now you know which segment we are in. This is the Kids Mind, and as you know, this is where we learn, we laugh, and we explore. This is where we learn, we laugh, and we explore. And if you see me standing in front of you, then you by now know what I want to present to you. This, we call it the Bible story segment. And if you're just joining us now for the first time, you can find all the other interesting Bible stories on our social media handles at GBS TV Africa. And also, if you have a question, an SMS, or you have any comments that you would like to send on to us, you can do that through our SMS line, that is 21144. I repeat again. If you would like to listen to these and more interesting Bible stories, you can find them on all our social media handles at GBS TV Africa, on all our social media handles, and you can send us a message, a question, or any comment that you have on our SMS line, that is 21144. Yes, and today I have prepared another interesting story, and this is the story about the prodigal son. Kids, have you ever heard about the story of the prodigal son? Have you ever by any chance heard about the story of the prodigal son? If you have never heard of it, do not worry. I tell you each and every moment, this is the Kids Mind Bible story, where we get to analyze the Bible in a manner that you are able to understand it more easily. Okay, kids? Are we together? And as always, I normally remind you, every time you attend this Bible story, make sure you have your Bibles. And I have mine. You can see, this is my Bible, kids. And for you, you also need a notebook and a pen, because everything that you are going to learn here is very interesting, and I don't want you to forget anything. Okay, kids? Next time, if you do not carry today, remember to come with your Bibles, like my Bible here, a notebook, and a pen. Okay, kids? And on our today's story, kids, we are going to read from the book of Luke, chapter 15, from verse 11 up to verse 24. Okay, kids? Let us read together. But I'm giving you some time to look for it. For me, because I was prepared, mine is already open. But for you, don't be in a hurry. You can open slowly by slowly. We have Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Actually, Luke is the third book in the New Testament. Okay, kids? You can open Luke chapter 15 from verse 11 to verse 24. Okay, kids? And because your teacher is there, I'm going to read it for you. Okay? Luke chapter 15 from verse 11 up to verse 24, and it says, "And he said, a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his field to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him, and had compassion, and ran, and fell on his neck, and kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said to his servant, Bring forth the best robe, and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet. Actually, we have read up to verse 22. So, kids, as you have heard today, we have read about the story of the prodigal son. Kids, and as you know, these are one of the parables that Jesus used to explain to his disciple and the many people that he was able to meet. And I have a question for you, kids. Do you know what a parable is? Do you know what a parable is? By show of hands, how many of you know what a parable is? Correct. A parable, these are just but the made-up stories that Jesus Christ used for him to explain more about the heart of God towards each and every one of us. So for you to understand the different stories that Jesus Christ was able to give unto his people, he used them so that he can be able to explain through them the heart of God towards each and every one of us. And this is not an exception. This one we call it the parable of the prodigal son. And to take you through this story, there was this prodigal son. And for the longest time, he lived a life whereby he was under his father. His father took care of everything that he wanted. When he wanted to go to school, his father took care of his school fees. When he wanted some food, his father prepared the best food for him. When he wanted to wear new clothes, his father made sure that he prepared everything for him. But now as this son grew, it reached a point whereby he sat down and he began to think, when I look at my father, he's a very old man. Sometimes when he is doing his own things, this one he's not supposed to do it like this. This one he's not supposed to do it like this. I think if I go to my father and tell my father to give me the portion that belongs to me, then I am going to be the best. I'm going to make the best out of everything that my father is going to give me. I am going to prove to my father, hey, my father, this one, if you would have done the way I did it, then it could be even more better. But now, when the son went to the father, he told his father, hey, father, bring me and give me the portion that belonged to me. But now the father thought, I cannot refuse to give him, because until this time I have believed in this son, but he does not realize my heart. He does not know the reason why I'm still taking care of him. And now because he wants to receive these properties, I'm going to give that to him. And now when the father divided the portion that belonged to this son unto him, then the son took the money, hurriedly went to a far country, a place where he knew that his father was not going to find him. And he by himself tried to live the best life, that he could be able to live. But now the problem is this. The son, after receiving the money that he received, he thought, this money is too much. If I just spend a little, then tomorrow when I wake up, this one that is remaining, I am going to open a very big business. I'm going to employ a lot of people. I'm going to buy a lot of cows, many cows. I'm going to buy all the many properties that I desire in my life. And I'm going to live a very blessed life. This is the kind of heart that this son was living with. And now, kids, let me tell you now where the problem began. The problem did not begin when the son departed away from the father. The problem began when the son, inside of his heart, he thought that he can be able to do better than his father. Kids, as you are living with your parents, I know most of you have this thought. Hey, my father, why are you saying to me like this? Why are you telling me to live this kind of life? Hey, I know the best way that I'm supposed to live my life. Most of us, we also want to lead our own life. But now, if you have this kind of heart, I want you to listen keenly. Why? Because if you do not want your life to end the same way it ended for this prodigal son, then you better listen to your parents keenly, and you better listen to this story. Okay, kids? So when we go back to the prodigal son, after he spent a little of what the father had given him, he went, maybe started gambling, he looked for beautiful ladies, he wanted to spend the best life enjoying himself. And now, to his surprise, after some time, all the money that he had, all of it finished. And now, when he looked at his pocket, he was having nothing. Even his shirt, he did not have anything. His pockets, nothing. All the money that he had spent it all. And now he was so fearful. He could not be able to go to his father. And he thought, he still had this heart of trusting in himself. He thought to himself, hey, if I go and look for a job, I am going to do what? To regain all the properties that I was able to receive. This is the kind of heart that he still had. And that is why, as he went out looking for a job, he did not find any job anywhere. And the only job that was left for him is to feed the swines. Kids, do you know what the swines normally feed on? They feed on garbage, food that has been left. This is the food that the prodigal son began to eat, because there was no one who was giving food unto him. Kids, is that a very interesting life? Isn't that a very disgusting life? If you do not listen to your parents, if you think that you're able to do better than your parents, if you think that the guidance that your parents are giving you is the wrong advice, then believe you me or not, this is the kind of life that you are going to do what? You are going to experience as you live your life. You are going to live a life whereby you cannot be able to feed yourself, you cannot be able to buy new clothes for yourself, you cannot even be able to pay for a house whereby you can be able to shelter yourself. You can only live a miserable life. This is how the prodigal son was living. Why? Because inside of his heart, he trusted in himself. Kids, until when are you going to live a life of trusting in yourself? So this prodigal son, he began to feed on the garbages that the swines were feeding on. But at that particular time and moment, as he was feeding on that rotten food, then he sat down and he was able to think. Now I am seated here. You know, my father is a very rich person. My father normally gives even a favor to many people. And now here I am his son. I don't have anything to feed on. I can only feed on the spoiled food left by the swines. And now I am going to go back to my father. So at this time, now the son came back to his senses. He was now able to see the importance of living under his father. He was able to come to this one conclusion. Hey, from this time henceforth, I am going to go back to my father. And I'm going to speak to my father. And I'm going to tell my father, hey, father, you know what? I do not deserve to be your son anymore. You can make me as one of your hired servants. Because when I look at my life, for sure I have wronged you and I have wronged everyone else. So father, this is what he was planning to go and say to his father. So he started now to go back to his father. So from a distance, the father saw his son coming, and now he ran towards his son. He went, embraced his son, kissed him, and even though the son wanted to explain to his father how he had wronged him, the father did not want to listen to any of that. Hey, he called his servant, hey, take this boy of mine, go and wash him. I want you to put the best robes on him. I want you to put a ring on his finger, and I want you to put sandals on his feet. And I want you to do what? To slaughter the fatted calf, and let us make merry. Children, as you listen to that story, what have you been able to learn? Kids, there is this great love of the Father. As we live our life, yes, we have lived a life thinking that we can be able to lead ourselves, but we still have our forgiving Father. Yes, we wrong. Yes, we make mistakes, but do you think our Father is going to say that you're not his children? each and every moment, the Father is the person who still wants to embrace us. The Father is the one who still wants to take care of our lives. Kids, I hope you are going to respect your parents. I hope you are going to listen to your parents. Yes, you might think that you are wise more than your parents, but now you need to understand the heart of who? Of your parents towards each and every one of us. So kids, as Jesus Christ was giving us this parable of the prodigal son, he wanted to show us the great love that God had towards each and every one of us. Yes, from the beginning, we were the ones who departed from God. But now, when we go back to God, he still is the one who wants to embrace us. He wants to kiss us. He wants to give us the best robes. He wants to put even a golden rings on our fingers. He wants us to wear the best and perfect sandals. And he wants to slaughter the fatted calf for us to have and to make merry with him. Kids, look at yourselves, okay? Listen to your parents. I know it is difficult. I know you want to lead yourself. I know you want to only do whatever thing that you want to do. But if you have the heart of trusting in yourself, you will end up in a miserable life, just like the prodigal son. Do you want to feed on the spoils that the swines have left? Do you want to live such kind of life? Then if you don't want to do that, do what? Listen to your parents. Obey your parents. And you need to understand the great love of God towards each and every one of us. Okay, kids? Because of time, I am going to end my story there. I know it is a very interesting story, and it is a very wide and long story that we cannot be able to finish on our sessions today. But because of time, if you want to listen to this and more interesting Bible stories, you can follow us on all our social media handles at GBS TV Africa. And also, if you have any question or you have any story that you want us to discuss together, you can send an SMS on our SMS line, that is 21144. Okay, kids? Until next time, I have been your teacher, Teacher James. Bye-bye.